Hello, Northaven family. This is Connie Marshall, and I have the privilege of interviewing my friend Gayle Roberts today. Hi, Gayle. How are you?
Hi there.
We're so glad you said yes to this. It's a fun few minutes. So we hope it won't be too painful for you.
I hope not. I have no idea what you're going to ask me, but we'll find out.
Well, whenever I interview anybody, I have to always start at the beginning. So if you would tell us a little bit about maybe your childhood, like where you were born, you have siblings, tell us about your parents, that kind of thing.
Okay. So I have a fascinating background. I was born in Dallas.
Wow.
So, yeah. Before Kennedy was shot. Anyway, and I do remember that. And I grew up in Farmers Branch, on Farmers Branch Lane, which a lot of people don't know. That's the oldest street in Dallas County. My father was with Texas Instruments. He moved here in the 50s to work for TI. And back when they were by Love Field, so before they built the big Richardson plant. And I have two sisters, and they're still in the area. One did live in New York, but she came back. And my mother died in 2016. At the end of 2016, my father died in 2015. And I live where I live, which is Northwest Dallas, because they helped me and I helped them. So they helped me with the kids and I helped them when they got older. So, and I grew up in the Disciples of Christ Christian Church, like TCU, that type of church.
I see. And you, if I'm correct, are married and have two daughters. So talk about your family.
Yeah, so I have two daughters. My younger daughter is 19 and just started University of Texas at Austin in radio, TV, film. And my older daughter graduated from University of Texas at Austin. She studied Arabic in Plan 2 because I think she originally wanted to be a spy, but then decided she didn't want to work for the government. So took a job right out of college working for McKinsey in Dubai, was there for 2 years and is back now in Dallas. And on Friday, she's moving to New York.
Wow. Doing what?
Still same company, working for McKinsey Corporation in their real estate practice.
Amazing. Where's she going to live in New York?
It's 25th Street. I don't know. I mean, it's Manhattan, but I don't know any. Wow. She told me the name of that little neighborhood, but I don't remember. And yes, she has sticker shock.
Wow.
At the prices. It's expensive.
Well, tell us what brought you to Northaven.
Okay, so I grew up in Disciples of Christ, I like Disciples of Christ. It's really good. It was open-minded, but pretty biblical, and traditional. But that church, where it was, it just kind of fell apart. And anyway, I didn't want to go back to my mom's church. So for years, I went to Unity on Forest Lane. So I went there for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And that's the person who did our marriage ceremony. And I really like the unity concepts. There's a lot you can read by Eric Butterworth, anybody who's a reader. Very interesting way, to look at religion and spirituality. But for some reason, unity attracts kind of the hanging crystals set. I don't know. That's going to sound, there's probably somebody watching who hangs crystals, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But you know what I mean? It's just kind of attracts so I just I got to the point where he's like, this just doesn't work anymore. So for a while, I didn't really go anywhere. My kids went to Good Shepherd Episcopal, and so they got plenty of church. They told me they got too much, actually. And then I was going to the North Dallas Democratic women's meetings at Northaven that were upstairs. And I noticed the signs, and that's when Eric was still there. So there were a lot of signs about gun violence. Unfortunately, there was a time when there was a lot of school shootings, and I thought, boy, this looks like a interesting place. And I was attracted to the fact that it was Methodist, so it's a main, more of a mainstream religion. And I just loved it. When I went to the services, and they were good. And then I started going to the spiritual journeys class, which I loved and still love. And then also I've been going to J3, which I really like too, kind of switch based on the topic. And I'm just continually amazed at just the intellectual powerhouse that Northaven is. There's a lot of thinkers and really talented people, and for such a small church, and incredibly welcoming, much more so than Unity. I was there for 20 years, and it wasn't. I wouldn't say it's on the welcoming side. So I just it's a unique place. I just really like it. I love it.
Great. Well, we're glad you're there. We're glad you're there. So can you tell us what brings you joy?
Learning, reading. I just got a new puppy that brings me joy.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
What?
Tell us about the puppy.
That was kind of crazy, actually. She's a Chihuahua Dachshund mix. Well, I remember you telling me how hard it was to find a rescue. And so I knew my daughter was moving to New York and taking her neurotic dog, which I've fallen in love with her. And so I wanted a dog. And it took me months. And so this one, I didn't actually really want a puppy, but anyway, she's a Chihuahua Dachshund mix, and I finally, got accepted somewhere, and she's crazy. She's 4.5 months, so she's
really little.
Yeah, so she's chewing everything, and I do have an older Chiweenie. She's 11 years old, but that's more my husband's dog. So,
how do they get along? How do the two dogs?
Well, she's chewing on the older dog's ears, so I'm having to kind of keep her away. But I told my younger daughter, I said, as soon as you go to college, I'm getting a dog, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 replacement. And she was like, okay. And I have to say, it's kept me pretty busy. I'm not thinking that much about the fact that I'm about to be a complete empty nester. So.
Right. Now, you work outside the home, correct?
I left at the end of July.
You did?
Finally.
So what are you doing?
Let's see. I'm teaching a GED class. I'm doing ESL for a Vietnamese girl in Vietnam. I'm in 2 writing groups. I don't know. I've stayed really busy. It's only been a month and a half, but I was in high technology stuff for 38 years. Yeah. Cause I started with TI back when my dad was there. And I wanted to get laid off, and I never got laid off. I kept trying to get laid off. And I quit once before. The last company, I was with Hewlett Packard the longest, and that was the best company. But the last company, I was with DXC Technology as a project manager, technology project manager. And my last 25 years have been mainly management. And I quit because I thought this was a year and a half ago, because it was just dull as dishwater. And I thought, well, I could do this. And that was before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And then they called me back. So I went back and I thought, what the heck, nobody can go anywhere because of COVID. And that was good because I was paying for the last year of my daughter's. She graduated from Greenhill, the younger one. And then I thought they would lay me off again, and they never did. So I quit. So this is supposed to be retirement. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So the things that you're doing now, are those volunteer jobs?
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
all volunteer.
Wow. And so you're enjoying that?
Oh, yeah, I love it. I'm busier now than I was then because I just sat at a laptop all day. It was killing me, honestly. Just sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
It was wrecking me. So, it's bad for your body even, just to sit there constantly.
Yeah. So you've really sort of started a whole new chapter in your life.
I have.
Just going off to college and
it feels totally different. And then weather's nice. We'll see how long that lasts. Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. That's very exciting. I didn't know that about you. So I
kind of kept it quiet because I did it once before and I told everybody, hey, I'm going to retire. And then I stayed retired 2 weeks. So I was like, okay, maybe I should be quiet about it. Kind of like when you don't tell somebody you're pregnant.
Well, Gayle, we're going to bounce back to Northaven now. What are your personal hopes and dreams for Northaven? What do you hope? How do you hope we will grow?
Well, more of what it already is, and that I hope that we can attract some younger families. It saddens me. We've got this whole younger generation. My daughters are in there too. That they're like, I'm not going to do church. I don't want to do that. Because I think it keeps you spiritually grounded. It keeps you, psychologically grounded, not just spiritually grounded. So I don't know, maybe if Northaven did some more, like I was talking to Diane Spear, who said the reason why she went is somebody invited her to a class that talked about different religions. So maybe if there were some more classes, like the Enneagram's a good example, that attracted different people. So more classes like that, and probably in the evenings, where more people can come, and just making it more attractive, I guess. It's just a hard time, for churches. But I don't have anything I'd really change about Northaven, just more of what it already is, and more people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
what would you say, this is kind of a little bit of an odd question, what would you say is one of the most important life lessons you have learned?
That personal growth is something that you have to always be, it's worth it and it's something that it's your responsibility. Nobody can, you can't look outside yourself for that. You can go proactively look for a spiritual community or, whatever, but, and having that in your life it's incredibly important and grounding. I don't know how else to put that. I mean, it's not just, it's spiritual, it's personal, it's all of those things. And I love to learn. I'm a constant learner. I had to in technology. So I've just kind of brought that into other areas of my life. And I think it's, served me well. And I want to continue to do that.
What would you say you're most proud of?
My kids, and the fact that, I don't know how much. So I was a single parent. I had, with my older daughter, I had been married 8 years. I got pregnant. We lived in Washington, D.C. My husband was a physicist with National Institute of Standards and Technology. Brainiac, but, and he said, oh, I don't want to be married anymore. And he was afraid, I think, of being a father. So I did the Thelma and Louise thing and came back to Texas. I'm so proud I did that, because I was afraid. And it was, and, in some respects, I felt like I was taking her away, but I gave her such a rich life, with her grandparents and family that I couldn't have. And then I remarried, and my second daughter, and my husband now he's great, low key guy, wonderful person. And we have a good family, and he comes from a really strong family. He's the seventh of 7 kids, and they're Catholic, but very strong family. And I think it's so important. And so, I would say my family. That's what I'm most proud of.
That's great. Well, this is our last question, and I hope people never think of this as a morbid question. So please don't see it as a morbid question. But what do you hope you'll be remembered for?
That I was a good person, and that I tried to do the right thing. That I didn't just react out of my emotions, that I thought through things and tried to do the right thing. And that I had a good sense of humor, and that I was fun, especially with my kids. I guess that would be it. That I was a good person.
So Northaven people, if you don't know Gayle, you do now. So Gayle, it's been a real pleasure to talk to you. And I think this will be a great way for more people to get to know you and introduce themselves to you if they don't know you. And again, we thank you for your time.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
You're a great hostess.
Well, thank you. And you have a good day.